Hello, all. Thank you for joining us again on the Almost Brothers podcast. Hey, will you do us a favor? If this podcast has meant something to you and encouraged you, will you consider becoming a monthly supporter? You could do $3, $5, $8, or $10 a month. What this does is this helps financially support the podcast so that we can continue to put out content and help better serve you. So if you would, down in the show notes, you can click the link, support, and become a monthly member. We love you. New episode coming your way. What's up, everybody? Welcome to the Almost Brothers podcast for another bonus episode. I guess we're going to call this bonus episode number 2.
I like it.
Here with your host, Michael Simmons. Also, as always, my co-host,
Jeremiah.
How you doing, Jeremiah?
Man, I'm good.
You smell good. What kind of cologne do you use?
That's what one of the kids asked me, man.
It was just random.
It was very random.
Just out of nowhere.
No, hey, what's up? How you doing? Man, you smell good.
It was funny. Everybody around was just like, what? So awkward. Well, in today's episode, we have a few of our youth with us, and we're just going to kind of see how they fell in love with Jesus and kind of reminisce on the day they gave their heart to him and really got serious with him. So thank you for joining us. So on today's bonus episode, we've got the Randall boys. How y'all doing?
Doing pretty good.
Doing good.
Doing good.
All right.
I'll never get used to that. It's so awesome.
You guys want to introduce yourself?
I guess I'll go first. I'm the middle child, Daddy T, also known as, Tristan Randall, but also known as Daddy T.
I'm the oldest. I'm Hunter.
What's your nickname?
Tapfall Randall.
I'm the second youngest.
Wait, what? You're the youngest, dude.
Just the youngest.
Out of us three, though.
There is no running it back. Let's go. And who are you?
I'm known as E-Bug.
E-Bug, Easton Randall, the goofiest of the bunch.
And the shortest.
I wouldn't say the funniest. I'd say the goofiest.
Yeah.
I'm the funniest.
So how are y'all doing today?
Doing good.
You already asked us that, but I'm doing good again.
Doing good?
Yep.
Well, good. Yeah. So what we're going to do today, we're just going to me and Jeremiah is just going to ask y'all some questions about life, about Jesus, and about the day that you accepted him, and really got serious. Because you might have accepted him when you were a kid or something, but the day you really got serious and began a relationship with him, that's what today's going to be about. So we'll just go down the line and start with you, Daddy T, I guess is what.
Or just Daddy, it's whatever.
Right.
I'm not calling you daddy.
No, it feels awkward just as you say it. Like, no.
All right. So when I was younger, when I was living with my mom, we'd always go to church like every Sunday and stuff. But it was more just go for no reason really. It was just kind of like the thing to do in that family, I guess. We just always did it. And then when I actually moved in with my dad, when I was getting a little bit older, probably like 10 or 11, we started going to church at Hockham Assembly. And I'd given my heart to the Lord before, like when I was younger, but I mean, it wasn't like serious for me really. It was just kind of like, that's what I did because it was just like natural because I was growing up in church and stuff. So when I was like 12 really, so we'd been there for like a year maybe, about around then. And then we had an altar call and I just like felt the presence of God. It was like so heavy and I gave my heart to the Lord. But it was really easy there because we had a very supporting like youth group and everything. Yeah. And even though we didn't stay at that church like till now, like we moved on to a different church and stuff, like it was still just amazing experience to do that, and ended up getting to go on like youth trips and stuff to like South Dakota and Alaska and just spread the word. So it was just amazing for me to experience that at such a young age and stuff. That's
awesome hearing, we do it, we accept Jesus as kids because, everybody else, that's what our family, if we're brought up in church, that's what everybody's doing. So it's cool that moment where you don't just do it, but you decide to do it. You know that call,
right?
And you do it. So that's cool. That's cool to hear. 12 years old, man. So you've been in it for a little bit.
4 years.
4 years. 4 years strong.
Some slight.
Yeah.
fourth of my life.
All right, Bug, Easton, talk about the day that you decided to accept Jesus. Get serious about it.
Well, I don't know. It all started out when I was young, and like Tristan said, when you're young, you don't really know what you're doing, so you're just going to church or whatever. But when I got old enough to realize and everything, and all my family had gotten baptized on a day, and then I was like, oh, I want that too, because I didn't know really what they was doing, but it looked fun, so I said I wanted to do it too. And but then I don't know, I just fell in love with Jesus, and then I always went to church and everything, but what really hit me was when we went to church camp. I don't know, it just, when I came back, it felt like I was so strong with God and everything. And then a few weeks later, it would just kind of die off, you know. And I don't know, it happened like that for 2 years. Every time I went to church camp, I'd be built up, and
you get on fire.
Yeah, and I'd be in fire with God. And then a few weeks later, when I get home, it would just die off. So I don't know. I asked God like why it kept happening, and one day I just thought of it, and I don't know. It's because I feel like when I'm always around church or godly people and everything every day for a week, then I get built up more than I do walking around Malden, you know, with anybody.
Yeah.
And I don't know, but I did one day. I decided to really give my heart to Jesus. We was living in Holcomb, and I don't know, it just seemed like everything was going bad. I don't know, it just hit us all at once, right? And so, I don't know, one day I just asked God into my heart, and I wanted to be serious about it, and that was probably, I don't know, maybe 11, so been like 3 years now. Yeah.
That's awesome. And what that is, I've always noticed that, being in a youth leader for a good while, is you notice that kids will get fired up around camp. Around summertime, there's this big spike. And then once school starts, it starts to die back down. And what that is our addiction to the feeling that we have at church camp. Everybody else is doing it. It's giving us goosebumps. It's the cool thing to do, but it feels good to do it while everybody's around doing it. Everybody's got their hand where you feel like you're a part of something. So we get addicted to that feeling of church camp. And then what happens is those feelings start to die off because it's not a real relationship with Christ. It's a feeling relationship. How do I feel? Have you ever been in a service where you feel like, oh man, it feels good right now. I want to praise. But then you get another service where I'm just not feeling it today. That's being addicted to the feeling of it. Too many times we do that. We do that as adults.
Right. I was going to say, as adults, we kind of do the same thing where, when you're around people that are on fire, it's easy to be on fire.
Yeah.
And then when you get removed from those people, then it seems like that fire dies out. That is because the relationship with Jesus and that burning is not coming from within you, but yet around you.
Ooh,
and you can be around those people and experience those things and those feelings. But once you leave, if that's not in you, then it will die out.
That's good. Yeah.
And so, and adults deal with that same thing too. I mean, I remember being a kid and going to youth camp and coming back like, man, I'm going to serve Jesus. And then a week later, that's the last thing on my mind.
Yep. Oh, yeah.
I think that's very normal, but you hit an age of accountability or whatever you want to call it, where that you have to decide, if I want this in my life, then it's going to be something that I've got to decide for myself, not from my youth pastor, not from my mom and dad, or not from anybody else. It's got to come from me and me, desiring that relationship with the Lord.
Yeah.
Well, Hunter, what about you, buddy?
Like everybody else said, we went to a church out in Holcomb a couple years ago, and at first, when we first started going there, I was playing church. I wasn't really taking it serious. I'd tell everybody what they wanted to hear. And then I think a year and a half going into that church, we started wanting to go on mission trips, and I was like, all right, I don't want to go into a mission trip unprepared. So I sat down, I was gave my heart truly to God, not just for something to do. And I was wanting to be serious. So we went to South Dakota, and it was amazing. You know, it really opened my eyes of the other side of the world, the parts that we don't want to see.
Yeah.
And I think ever since then, my relationship with God really hit its peak at that time. I felt like I could reach out and fist bump God and give him a big old hug. Then we got back, and I started playing church again after a little bit. We went to Alaska, as Tristan said, you know, and I was right back on fire. I felt like I was doing everything I could for God. And I think since then, you know, I'd have a few down spots, you know, a few times where I'd fall away, but nothing serious, like nothing big. But ever since then, I've been really on fire with God, you know. I don't know how to say it, but I go to the gym a lot, and that's my time with God every morning. You know, I'll run, do cardio, listen to some Christian rap and all that. That's my pump music.
Some podcast, maybe?
I did do cardio to a podcast. It was the first time ever doing that. But yeah, you know, God has really been working in my life. I've been through some things that not a lot of people have. God's truly shown himself to me, you know.
Yeah.
So I think, like I said, before we went to Alaska a couple years ago, maybe 2 or 3 years ago, is when I really gave my life to God.
Yeah. Now, do y'all find it easier to kind of encourage each other in your walk with the Lord? Just kind of, maybe if you're having a hard day, you can go to your brothers and talk to them about it, or pray for each other and lift each other up. Or do you find it the opposite? Do you find it where you're trying to, if you are having a bad day, or if you have slipped up, you're trying to hide it from your brother and not let them know, you know, because maybe you think they'll make you feel bad or something?
For me, I think that sometimes, especially when I was younger in my faith, I would try to hide it just because of the shame I felt, and also I wasn't open really to expressing my relationship with God. It was more just conserved, and I wanted just to be me and him, whatever happened, it was our thing, because I was he already knew, but it actually helps you to express it, what happens and when you make mistakes and when you've fallen short, because then you can actually hold yourself accountable for that. And when you're asking himself for forgiveness, or him for your forgiveness, you actually feel I don't know how to explain this, but makes you feel you I don't even know. But it just basically makes you feel more accountable, and you feel he's actually forgiving you, because sometimes I'd have problems with I feel I'm not worthy of his forgiveness. Well, I mean, it's he's just a forgiving God, so he's gonna forgive you no matter what. But I always just beat myself up bad about it. But so I would feel shame at the beginning of my faith with God to express it with other people, especially my brothers, because that's probably who I'm closest with, and then my dad. But I really started opening up more and stuff recently, especially the past year or two, for real. When I was getting older and stuff and maturing in my faith, I just started opening up, and it helps a lot to just express it to somebody.
Oh yeah, it's good to have. You know, me and Jeremiah talked about this. It's good to have somebody there that you could talk to when you're struggling. Mm-hmm. Yeah. Did you have somebody like that when you were a kid, or?
When I was a kid, I had some friends in church and stuff that, that would all, it was hard for me to talk to people though. I understand what he's saying. It's hard to open up with people and just allow that light to be shown in on your life. You kind of want to keep things, a little bit secret and kind of save face.
Yeah.
To a certain extent. But I had some friends growing up that we tried to encourage one another, and if nothing else, you understand that you're not the only one going through it.
Yeah.
Because most of the time when you open up with somebody, you're man, I'm struggling with this. They're like, dude, I'm struggling with
exactly
and they've got something that they, so good things always come from opening up and being honest and sharing.
Yeah. That's exactly what I was thinking, is that a lot of times the same thing that you're going through, that person that you go to is going through the same thing. And maybe both of y'all are feeling like you don't want to open up to each other, or you don't want to let that light be shown that, oh man, I'm struggling with this. Cause that's usually what happens. It's oh yes, either they're going through the same thing, or they've been through that and they've came out the other side. And it's amazing how God will put those people directly in your path that have been through that, or that struggle with that, so that you can help lift each other up. So yeah, never be ashamed. And I think we all get like that, where we feel like we're not worthy of God's grace. But that's the beautiful thing, is that none of us are worthy of it.
Right.
You know, the best of us, what did he say about, I think it was John the Baptist, where Jesus said he's the most worthy man on earth, but still, you know, by heaven's standards, he is the least, you know, and that's how it is. None of us are worthy enough of it. You know, if so, then why did Jesus die? You know, he died because we're all sinners. So never feel ashamed of, man, you know, I've messed up or I stumbled on a certain thing.
Me personally, I don't know. I just like keeping myself about my feelings and emotions. I don't really like going out and telling people. But out of the brothers, I think me and Tristan, I have the closest relationship with Tristan because we're about the same age.
Yeah.
So I think I have gone to him a couple times talking about faith and talking about my personal walk and where I am at that time. But when you asked about praying with each other, I don't know. I don't think I've ever sat there and walked up to Easton or Tristan and be like, hey, can you pray with me?
Yeah.
I don't know. That's just me.
You just does it make you feel awkward asking that or talking about that?
Well, like I said, I mean, if I'm going through something really, really difficult and I can't handle it by myself, then Tristan would be the one I go to.
Yeah.
For me, like, I don't usually go to like Hunter and Easton about that stuff, but my dad is like the person, because like I don't usually share a lot of my testimony either, but I'll just share a little part of it. Like when I was younger, like I had a pretty rough childhood and stuff. So like, but I was really too young to understand what I was going through, like what was happening in my like childhood. I just thought it was normal for me because I was used to that. So like I don't know, like when I got older, my dad just told me like all the stuff that had really happened and like just kind of like explained it to me. And so it was just kind of like my relationship with him just became like so much more strong than like any other relationship. And also my sister, which it's kind of sucks for me because she's not actually in church, but I pray that someday she'll find God, and I hope that she does. But so yeah, my dad is really just like my closest person I can always turn to. Like for example, the other day in church, like I asked him if we could go up to the front and pray together. He's like always that person that would be there. Like,
man, and that was awesome. Oh my goodness, that had me fired up behind the drum set. I was so pumped because I just love seeing youth do that, take that initiative and go up front, you know, and lift their hands, or even if it's just going and praying for people. That's a beautiful thing, man, because this is the future. Like I always say, y'all drive, you know, the older generation pays for the car, puts the gas in the car, but y'all are driving the car. You know, y'all drive the culture. Y'all drive what's cool, what's not cool, what's in, what's not in. It's the younger generation, you know, it's that 13 to 40-year-old age group, which we're still a part of, but
barely.
Well, yeah, it's just barely holding on. But y'all really do. You drive which way we're going as a church and as a whole, as a nation. You know, y'all decide what's cool. So you know, y'all three being that light for, like you said, for your sister that may not be in church, but she sees it through y'all. You know, yes, you'll slip up or whatever, but she'll be able to see that through you. Mm-hmm. Easton, what about you, bud? You sitting there quiet?
Well, I don't know. I think, like Tristan said, it's easier to go to my dad because, you know, I can see it through him that he's strong in Jesus, like all the time. Yeah, he'll slip up here and there, but I don't know. Like the other day, he knew something was wrong with me without like me telling him or him asking or anything. And it was recently my friend had gotten into an ATV accident, you know, and been in the hospital. And I don't know, Dad just prayed right then and there in the church and just in the middle of the aisle, you know, blocking people, but you know, he didn't really care.
Yeah.
But I don't know, that really helps and stuff. Like I don't go to Hunter or Tristan or anybody like that just because, you know, they're older on me. I think, well, what if they pick on me in a few years about it or something, you know?
Right.
But I know that my dad, you know, he's not like that. He'll keep it between me and him, you know, and he'll pray and hope that everything's okay and everything like that. So.
That's beautiful, having somebody to go to and be able to trust in and say, hey, look, and lay it out on the table for them. You know, that's a beautiful thing. So Richard, I know you're going to be listening to this because you hound me when the new episodes are coming out. So it's amazing the impact that somebody like that can have on your life, you know, from day to day.
And I think that eventually you all, I know it's a tough age for you to open up and share with one another, especially because, I get it. But I don't think it'll always be that way. I'm just going to go ahead and speak this.
Yeah.
I believe that you guys are going to get to the point where you begin sharing with one another and leaning on each other to where that you guys have that same relationship and that same bond as what you have with your dad. Because you guys, as you guys grow in your faith and get closer to Jesus and are hearing from him, daily, I think that you're going to benefit greatly from having a strong relationship with one another. And it's tough at this age.
Oh yeah.
Because if you run to Hunter and you tell him something that you're going through, you're like, man, now he's got ammo. Now he's got some dirt on me. You know what I mean? And it won't always be like that. It won't always be like that. And I think that, if I'm not out of line here, I think that you guys will be praying for each other.
Yeah.
The more you get in this thing and the more you, are involved in youth and stuff, and it just becomes second nature to want to pray for one another because you love it. Y'all love each other. So,
yeah. And kind of what we were talking about this morning at the house, you'll start to battle for one another. No matter how strong, you look at the strongest Christian that you could think of, they struggle. They need people praying for them and backing them up and having their back and lifting them up in prayer and helping deflect these things that are the spiritual warfare that's coming at them. And y'all can be that for each other. Y'all have that built into your family, ready to go right at home. So I want to challenge y'all to start doing that every night. Take 10 minutes and just pray for the other two brothers. Pray for your dad, pray for your mom, pray for your sisters, and really go to battle for one another, because that will do wonders. Yeah. You have no idea. I mean, how many pastors out there are hurting because they have nobody to have their back, or how many people are out there hurting because they don't have somebody lifting them up or praying for them. It's always, hey, I need. And it's not a, hey, what can I pray for you for? What can I take off of you? So use that. I wish I had brothers growing up, that I could talk to, even outside of church, things that I could just sit down and talk to. All I had was twin sisters, and they were kind of partners in crime. And then I was just kind of left, Dad was in the military, and, I talked to my mom a lot, but I didn't have that brother or that close person close to me in age that I could go to, other than my youth group. And I was the same way. I wasn't about to go to them and tell them what I was struggling with. I don't think so.
Right.
Because I was supposed to be a leader in the youth, but I was doing all these other things. But use that as an advantage. Don't look at it as a disadvantage. Like, oh, I don't want to tell them what I'm going through. Use it and say, man, I need somebody to have my back right now. I need somebody to lift me up. I'm struggling. I'm really, really struggling. So, use that. Yep. So how'd y'all like?
I agree.
Y'all ready to go back to Branson or what?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
That was a good time, man. That seeing some of our youth that don't usually talk much, seeing y'all open up, that was awesome.
Just one of my favorite things about Branson was, our every night little devotionals. I feel like all four of us guys and Pastor Vip at that one night, I feel like we all got a lot closer. We started sharing a little more personally, a little more stuff that was more personal to each other, and we all built a stronger relationship.
Yeah.
And just God worked incredibly in incredible ways during that trip. It's insane.
Yeah.
For me, I'm usually really close with people already. I'm just a relationship person. So I'm really close with everybody I talk to. I also have this thing where if people don't like me, it makes me feel bad.
Right.
So, I just love having conversations with people and talking to people. I'm just a outgoing person. But I did seeing some of the people that aren't like that. It just kind of helps you understand when you see somebody that isn't like that. Not everybody is the same way as I am.
Yeah.
And you have to think about it from their perspective, that they're opening up. It's crazy to see that they're opening up like that, especially when they don't talk to really anybody or get deep into what they're thinking ever.
Yeah. That was what was cool for me is seeing that happen real time. First night we had a devotion, and it was kind of quiet, hit and miss. A couple of them that are more outgoing, of course they're speaking up. And then as second night came, third night came, one of our youth in particular started opening up and talking, and he'd never done that I know of, never done that in front of me. So it was cool to hear him open up and start giving his perspective on things, and that God was moving. There was one night where we were real tired. We got back to the hotel pretty late, and we weren't going to do it. You know, me and Richard's like, well, it's late. Let's let everybody sleep. And the boys were like, no, we want to have devotion tonight. So it was cool seeing that push from them. Hey, let's do this. Let's get together and you know, let's crack open the word and have a good discussion going on. So it was a great time, man. I wish old Big J could have been there.
Jay Dizzle.
Jay Dizzle?
I don't have any nickname.
No nickname, right?
Here on out, it's Jay Dizzle.
Jay Dizzle. Oh, yes.
Jeremiah Dizzle.
Well, thank you all for joining us on this bonus episode.
Thank you for having us.
Y'all going to be on again?
Yes, sir.
Oh, no.
Oh no, that depends.
Oh, my goodness.
Did you have fun?
If you invite
Yes,
me
sir.
back, I might come. I got a pretty busy schedule.
This guy. Y'all ready for school?
Nope.
No, sir. Well,
Ready
like
for-
I said,
Ready for basketball.
if it goes back to normal, we ain't got to worry about all this COVID stuff, then yeah, I'm ready to get in and get out for my senior year. Go to Georgia.
I ain't ready for school. I'm ready to see my friends. You know.
Yeah.
Yep.
All
That's
right.
going to do it for this episode.
Well, Jeremiah, what time's service Sunday?
8:30
And that one is?
outside.
All right. What about the inside service?
10 o'clock.
Boom. Inside? Sanctuary?
Inside the
Are
sanctuary.
you going to be
in the
greeting?
building.
You're going to be
I'm
greeting, at the door,
yeah.
ain't you?
Yeah, the pastor just asked my wife and I to help with the hospitality and the greeting.
So
and,
awesome.
And first-time visitors, make sure we get some information from them.
Are you going to get a name tag that says Jay Dizzle?
I hope so.
That'd
I
be
hope so.
nice.
I need to get on that.
What's
Yeah.
up, Jay Dizzle?
Hi, hello, my name is Jay Dizzle.
Yeah, that's
That
great.
will be awesome.
I would buy a shirt.
Yeah, with the little thing right there.
Jay
that'd be
Dizzle
pretty cool.
merch.
Now we got Daddy T, E-Bug, Papa Randall, and Jay Dizzle.
I want to redo on the nickname.
Oh, you like it? It's not
he gets
feeling
a
it.
free name change from Xbox Live.
That's so funny.
What's your nickname?
I don't no.
We'll-
Simi
we'll-
Simi is my
We
nickname.
can
That's what all
nickname
my
him
buddies.
Buzzcut because you seen his high school pictures.
Why you got it? Why is he bringing that up?
I don't know. I'd like to see him.
Yeah, I think I had it for our wedding too, for me and James' wedding.
I can't believe she married you.
Yeah, yeah, she did. I had another buddy that shaved his head with a razor the night before, and like broke out real bad.
Oh, nice.
So like he came down the hall when we were getting ready. He was one of my groomsmen, and he was like, "Hey, can I wear a bandana in y'all's wedding?" I was like, "Why don't you go down the hall and ask Jamie that?" So he went down there, and you hear her yell down the hallway, "What? What are you talking about?" Like, yeah, that didn't work out, did it? We called him Stubble from then on. Oh, stubble on his head.
Easton went bald headed one time. Razor
like-
saved.
You look like Mr. Clean.
Yeah.
You gonna do that again?
You won't.
Well, my dad won't let me. So
Oh, okay. And man,
Yeah.
that curly hair.
He's a daredevil.
But yeah, well, we appreciate y'all joining us today. Everybody who's listening, we appreciate you. Hope you enjoyed this little bonus episode. We'll try to get some of these up, just goofy, talking, nonsense. We'll hit up on some sports now that everything's getting rolling again.
Right.
Talk
Man,
about
hey,
some,
I want to thank you guys for joining us, man. This has been fun.
yeah.
Yep.
It's been a blast.
Do it again.
About to give them some work and pool.
Lord have mercy.
About to take y'all to the gym.
All right. Well, everybody remember, if you don't have a home church, come check us out right here at the Lighthouse at Dexter. We're all like family here. Love y'all.
Love you.